You are watching KJ Picks and Predictions for Week 9 football coming up. So, first game we're going to cover, Lions-Vikings. So, I have the Vikings winning this one. They come off a game they really didn't play good against the Bears. Gave up 200 yards to, what's his name, Jordan Howard, 7th round pick or something by the Bears. So that's not a good sign. And I really like how Matthew Stafford is playing as well. But I'm almost convinced the Vikings are going to pull this out. If we set the clock to 0, the Vikings, they're just a better football team. If you don't count in momentum, which the Vikings clearly have none after that disappointing loss to the Chicago Bears. But let's be quite honest, the Vikings are the better football team. And I see the Vikings making the playoffs at maybe 11-5, and the Lions are also going to have a great season. Not a great season, but a decent season. I really like Matthew Stafford. He's playing amazing. If he continues this, big things to come for this Lions team. Lions might go 7-9, 8-8 at best, but they're definitely a decent football team. Alright, so next, big divisional clash, Eagles versus Giants. This is basically a 50-50 toss-up, so the Eagles' defense is playing great. Carson Wentz is playing great. And Darren Sproles is also playing great for the Eagles, but I just don't think the Eagles have that firepower on offense, especially where is Carson Wentz going to throw it to? Dorial Green-Beckham, Nelson Aguilar? Who are those people? So, not really convinced by the Eagles' passing game, although Carson Wentz is great. I can imagine him carrying this Eagles team for years to come. I just think they need a weapon on offense, and quite frankly, they might just look at that in the first round next year's draft. However, I don't think they'll be picking high. It should be like a 9-17 at least, or an 8-8 at very worst. So, the Giants, I don't think they're that good of a team, to be quite honest. Eli Manning can pull off some wins, and Odell Beckham is going to help him with that. Odell Beckham is amazing, but I just don't see what Dorial Green-Beckham and Nelson Aguilar are going to do against the secondary with Landon Collins playing great. Janoris Jenkins is a great player. I don't see it. This might be a low-scoring game. I imagine like a 19-16 win for the Giants, perhaps. So even if the Giants go 5-3 here, I don't imagine they're going to make the playoffs. They are a good team, but they're in a tough division, and they're not going to sweep Dallas. They're going to lose their next game. That's 100% to me. So, both teams in the running here, and if I had to predict another tie, this might actually be the one. Alright, so next we have Jets at Dolphins in Miami. Okay, so this is also an interesting matchup. The Dolphins, they've been playing pretty good recently. Jay Ajayi, nobody expected him to play as well as he did coming into the season, but he did. He found, what was it, twice in a row he got 200 yards rushing. And if there's another game he's going to get 200 yards rushing, it might as well be against the Jets, right? So, I could imagine this being a good scoring game. And the Jets, to me, are one of the worst teams in football, to be honest. Fitzpatrick is one of the worst quarterbacks in football, and the only reason he actually had decent numbers yet last season was Brandon Marshall, basically. He still has Brandon Marshall, but Ryan Fitzpatrick is a good quarterback if you want to throw the ball up to a guy like Brandon Marshall who's going to go up and get everything. He's just not been getting everything lately, and quite honest, he doesn't get much help. Ryan Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall do not get much help. From the defense, no way. Pass rush, people are saying is amazing, but it's not playing that great, to be honest. Sheldon Richardson and Muhammad Wilkerson, they're good players. I just haven't seen them so far. So, Jets team, really disappointed. Dolphins team, they actually might be in here for a wild card push. I imagine them still going like 7-9 at best, maybe even like 5-11. Even if they win this game, they might go 5-11 or 7-9. So I say the Dolphins are going to win this. It's going to be like 27-23 or like 27-20, somewhere around that. I'm pretty sure the Dolphins are going to win this. But if Fitzpatrick has a good game, it's going to be 50% to Brandon Marshall and 50% to Quincy Enunwa, who's also a great player. I just don't think they have anything else on offense. Matt Forte, I love the guy. I just don't see him getting it done too much. So, interesting game, divisional matchup. The loser is definitely out for the playoffs, even though I think if the Jets win, they're out of the playoffs regardless. They came into the season knowing they're out of the playoffs. They're not going to make it. Alright, so Jaguars Chiefs. Man. Alright, so the Jaguars, I love them coming into the season. Everybody loved them coming into the season. But I knew they weren't going to exceed expectations or even get close to expectations. People on NFL.com, I was seeing like the ceiling of this team is 11-5. What? This team cannot go 11-5. What did they go, like 4-12 one year? And the next year they're expected to go 11-5? That is just unheard of. I mean, they have great players. They have great players, great potential. I think Jalen Ramsey is a great pick. To be honest, I think the Chargers should have taken him. Joey Bosa's been playing amazing. And I don't know if he'll be better in the long term. But coming into the draft, I think Joey Bosa might have been a greater need for the Chargers. Although Jalen Ramsey was also in need. But I think it might have been a mistake putting Jalen Ramsey at safety. Because that's probably what the Chargers would have done. If not, maybe Brandon Flowers at safety. I don't know, I haven't heard that one in a while. But the Jaguars have him, and I think he's a great player. I think Miles Jack is a great player. I think Malik Jackson is a great player. The Jaguars have so many great players. And I also believe Blake Bortles is a good player. So I think next season this team could go 7-9, and the season after that they go 8-8. And in 2 or 3 years they might make the playoffs. And in 5 years they might make them consistently. But not this season. I imagine another 5-11 season. 6-10 season at best for Jacksonville. So I'm sure the Chiefs are going to absolutely destroy them. Maybe not absolutely destroy them, but the Chiefs are going to definitely win this. I have it being like 37-17 game, 37-20, around there. Alright, next one. Cleveland goes, or no, Cleveland, the Cowboys actually come to Cleveland, so Ezekiel Elliott is amazing. His offensive line is amazing. Dak Prescott looks like a veteran quarterback. He is also amazing. Des Bryant is a great receiver. And the defense is just good enough. So the Cowboys are going to destroy the Browns. The Browns have nothing. I mean, it's just messy. They have nothing. I mean, I like potential, and I like their coach. But this season, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get a win. And if they get a win, it's going to be, I don't know, against maybe a division rival. The Ravens might be, or did they already play them twice? If they did, that was their only chance. I had them beating the Jets, and they let me down. They should have won it, but they choked. So the Cowboys are going to win this. Ezekiel Elliott, 230 yards, scrimmage, and 2 touchdowns. It's going to be like 42-13. Cowboys. I'm really high on the Cowboys. To be honest, I think they might go undefeated outside of the division. They're going to lose some divisional games. They're not going to get swept by the Giants, I'm pretty sure. But the Cowboys, to me, they're amazing. They might be the best team in football. Behind the Patriots, of course. Patriots also playing amazing. But I think if Tony Romo comes back, this team is going to be even better. Dak Prescott is playing flawless. He's done everything he was expected to do and more. But Tony Romo has to lead this team. It's not going to be Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott in 2 or 3 years, but Tony Romo is going to lead this team when it comes to the playoffs, when they clinch that first round bye over Seattle, when they win 13-3 or 12-4 at worst. Tony Romo is going to carry this team. and they're gonna make it at least to the conference championship. And I'm not a Dallas fan in any means, but Dallas is the real thing this year. Ezekiel Elliott, I have people saying, yeah, it's just the offensive line, but come on. This guy is one of the primary backs of the league. He's just one of the best. David Johnson, I have as one of the best as well, because he's playing amazing. He is amazing. He's got everything you want. Then Le'Veon Bell, perhaps, but that's really where it ends for me. Adrian Peterson is still amazing. He's not showing it. He's not even playing. He's injured, I believe. So Zeke Elliott might be the best for years to come. I actually have forgot their names. One of the new players heading into the draft is running back. He's racked up like a whole bunch of yards already. He's amazing. I'll figure out his name in the next episode, but he is also amazing. So in the Cowboys' mind, might have been waiting. So not drafting Zeke at 4, and perhaps they were in front of the Jaguars, so Jalen Ramsey would have been perfect for them, because they have a need at cornerback or just defensive backs altogether. So that would have been a need, but Ezekiel Elliott is going to carry them to the Super Bowl alongside Tony Romo, and Dak Prescott has been. They're 6-1, could be 7-9 if they knew how to play Week 1. They knew how to get the drives finished instead of just kicking field goals. Dan Bailey, also an amazing kicker. Alright, next game, Steelers-Ravens. Ravens are free-falling. No chance. I think they're bottom 5 team in the NFL. They're that bad. People are saying, yeah, the Ravens might put up a fight, and they might. And they might even win this. They might go to 4-4 with the Steelers, but let's be honest, the Steelers, they might choke. They might end this with 10-6, 9-7 even at worst. But the second best team in this division is going to be maybe the Bengals at 7-8-1, and then the Ravens at 6-10. That's the best I can imagine for this division. Steelers are going to be amazing next year. They might be amazing this year. I just don't see it coming. They're going to choke too many times. I mean, that game against the Dolphins played great, but come on, you can't lose to the Dolphins like that. So Steelers, I have them winning, but the Ravens might put up a fight. And then the Steelers might just blow them out because the Ravens are actually that bad. And they're so old. Steve Smith, Eric Weddle. I love Eric Weddle. Former Charger, of course. Terrell Suggs, Elvis Dumervil. I'm really, really worried about this team. They might be the next Cleveland Browns if they don't get their shit together. I mean, they can't fight age. But if they want a season to make the playoffs again with their old players, it might as well be this season. And I don't think they're going to because, like I said, bottom 5 team. And if those old players want to show something, they're going to have momentum going into this game. They don't have to win this game if they want to have a chance. So the only way I see them winning this is Joe Flacco throwing to Steve Smith for 200 yards, Elvis Dumervil and Terrell Suggs sharing like 3 sacks, and Eric Weddle getting a pick. And that's the only way I see them winning this game. The old players have to step up. Alright, next, Saints 49ers. Horrible game. If the Saints don't win this, that's it. 49ers are so bad. And it's quite disappointing, to be honest. The Saints, the only way I see them being a good team is Drew Brees leading them. And if Drew Brees led them over a win, or to a win over Seattle, that proves just how great of a quarterback he actually is. And the 49ers have nothing. They have Eric Armstead is great. DeForest Buckner is good. Not great, but he's okay. I just don't know what to make of this 49ers team. They have no pass catchers. They have no secondary. They have a tiny bit of pass rush. Colin Kaepernick, I think, he's decent, actually. They might actually not draft a quarterback because I think every position on this team is a greater need than quarterback. So I think they should maybe go secondary here in the next pick in the draft, which is probably going to be second overall, or maybe even the first if Cleveland wins a game, because I don't see the 49ers winning a game unless it's another divisional one. but the only teams they could beat in the division is the Rams, and I don't see them sweeping the Rams. Then the Cardinals, and they're just so much worse than the Cardinals. Even though the Cardinals are not playing that great football right now, they're going to make the playoffs. The Cardinals are going to make the playoffs. The Seahawks are going to make the playoffs. And the 49ers are not going to win again this season. So Saints can win this. If the 49ers win a game, it might be this one, but they're playing horrible, and they're going to continue playing horrible. And Chip Kelly is going to rebuild this team. He's not going to get fired even if they go 1-15. That would mean 15 lost games straight. But if he doesn't get a good draft or a good free agency, then he might get fired after 4 weeks in the next season. But I think he might. I just think going quarterback like Sean Kaiser or Deshaun Watson is a huge mistake. They're good quarterbacks, but this team has greater needs, and I think they should rely on Colin Kaepernick. And they're just going to give Kaiser or Watson a hard time with no pass catchers, no defense, and no running game. That's just how I see it. The Saints are going to win this game. Alright, Panthers-Rams. Okay, this is a big game for the Panthers. They're on quite a comeback. They were 1-5. They had lost to the Cardinals, and I actually picked the Cardinals to win. But I wasn't quite sure. I just didn't have guts to pick a 1-5 team over the Cardinals. But they damn proved me wrong. So the Panthers are coming back wildly. This might be a high-scoring game. The defense might be horrible. The Rams might get hundreds of big plays against this rookie cornerbacks, against this horrible secondary. Might be 41-38, to be honest. The Rams are just going to keep scoring, and then Cam Newton's going to keep leading the Panthers down the field and scoring again. That's honestly how I might see this game going. But another option would be the Panthers just blowing out the Rams. I'm sure the Panthers are going to win this game. Rams, not a good team. Just I'll have a hard time picking them. They can win 1 week, they can lose the next week. They're a win-loss team, kind of like the Chargers maybe. So Panthers winning this game by a big margin. Alright, Colts-Packers. Man, I actually thought the Colts are just about complete enough to win this division, and I think they might be. I mean, the only real concern to losing this division from the Colts, even if they go 3-6 here against the Packers, which I predict they will, they're going to lose to the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is going to pull it out. Aaron Rodgers is not a guy on a 500 team at week 9. No way. If the Packers are going to win this, Aaron Rodgers is going to win this. He's going to throw it up to Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson, Jeff Janis, Richard Rodgers. Everybody is going to catch passes from him today. So I'd say like 31-17 might be a realistic score here. So the Colts are going to be 3-6 after this. The Colts might go 7-9 or 8-8, which might be enough to win this division in such a poor division. Titans are a great young team, and they're going to win the division in 2 or 3 years to come if the Colts don't progress at the rate the Titans are, which they're not, because the Titans are doing good. Marcus Mariota is a franchise player. So the other concerns in this division, the Texans. And the Texans are actually a concern, because Brock Osweiler is okay. Not $72 million okay, but he's okay. So, Texans, they have a great pass rush. Jadeveon Clowney's coming back. Of course, Jadeveon Clowney. He's not a bust, okay? People saying he's a bust. He cannot come out of college being called a generation player and then be a complete bust. He has talent. He just has to figure it out in his head. It's the only issue I have with him. Only issue anybody should actually have with him. Alright. So Texans might actually win this division. They might go 10-6 and prove me wrong. But I have the Colts winning this division and losing this game. Colts might come back. Andrew Luck's great. T.Y. Hilton is great. Vontae Davis is quite alright. And Frank Gore also has to prove himself. I think Frank Gore has another playoff appearance. If it's not this year, he's going to stick around, not retire, not go to free agency again, not get cut in preseason. He's going to stay with the Colts 1 more year. He's going to make the playoffs next year with the Colts. Frank Gore, Andrew Luck. Not saying Frank Gore is the future for this team at 33 years or 34 years, but he's okay. I really like the player. He had great years, and quite honest, he's still a great player. The talent has not faded. Alright, Titans-Chargers. Titans want to win this game. The Chargers may have a little bit of hope, but from where is that hope coming? Okay, they beat the Broncos. The next, or 2 weeks later, they lost to the Broncos. Philip Rivers throwing 3 interceptions, the receivers tipping the balls up, and then just allowing the defense to get pick sixes. What are they doing? Philip Rivers does not need to force passes. They had a legitimate chance in that game to win, to sweep the Broncos, which would have been a huge headline, beating the Broncos. They didn't. Now, the Titans are going to have big momentum coming into this game. They're going to want to win. Chargers are going to want to win because they have a little bit of hope. Even if they're going to win this, they don't have hope. Where's that hope coming from? Chargers are going to go 7-9, maybe 8-8. But in this division, you'd be lucky if that is third place. They might go 9-7 and be last place in this division because every team in this division is that good. It's done for the Chargers this year, but I do see big things coming. They're doing all of this without Manti Te'o, without Keenan Allen, without Jason Verrett, who's a great corner, like top 10 corner in the league maybe. They're a great football team. Joey Bosa has been amazing. He's the Rookie of the Year. It's kind of like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the MVP. He's played only 4 games, but he's been perfect. Just like Joey Bosa. Not saying Tom Brady, Joey Bosa, same thing, but in terms of how well they did in 4 games, Joey Bosa's been flawless. Tom Brady's been absolutely flawless. Tom Brady MVP, Joey Bosa Rookie of the Year. Saying it right now. Alright, next game, Broncos-Raiders. Now, I'm so high on this Raiders team. They're doing amazing. Love them. So, Raiders-Broncos, or actually Broncos going to Oakland. So, Oakland, great road team. I don't know, they're 5-0 on the road and 1-2 at home. So they lost at home, I believe, to the Chiefs. Stupid loss. I predicted it because they were going to choke sometime. I can't see the Raiders going 7-1 after, I believe, they were 32nd team, like, in terms of record, like 2-3 years ago. And like 4 or 5 years ago, they've been bottom 2, bottom 3 team for so long. So consistently, but now they've come back. Derek Carr is so amazing. Derek Carr is amazing. Amari Cooper is amazing. Khalil Mack is a freaking Hall of Famer for sure. So, Raiders, I'm high on this team, but I don't see the Raiders being 7-2 and the Broncos 6-3. Just can't get that into my head. I can probably get it into my head next season, or I can maybe get it into my head in a couple of days if it actually happens. But I see the Broncos winning this game. It might be a close one, but I can't see the Raiders actually having what it takes to win this. I'm sure they all have it in their heads. They're so focused, all the Raiders players, probably the Broncos players as well. But they're so focused on this game. This is a must-win for the Raiders. Not a must-win. Not saying if they lose, they're going to miss the playoffs. Both of these teams are making the playoffs for sure. But this is basically saying, I'm getting wild card. You're getting first or second seed. The Broncos are not going to get the first seed. The Patriots are getting it. But the winner of this game is getting the second seed, to me. The Raiders might win this and then choke later on and go like 10-6, and then the second seed might go to Pittsburgh. But I don't see that happening. So Broncos going to win this like 24-21, might go to overtime. Alright, next game. Bills-Seahawks. Okay, so the Bills have quite a bit of an upset chance. I just don't get the Seahawks. The Seahawks could go 16-0 every year in terms of talent, but they just choke so early on in the season. They lose so unnecessary games. I mean, okay, you can lose to Drew Brees here and there, but the Saints team is not good. Drew Brees is amazing, but the Saints team is not good. Drew Brees is doing this alone, and you lost to him. The Legion of Boom got exposed by Drew Brees. How's that happening? Anyway, I have the Seahawks winning here. The Bills, they might go 8-8. Then the Dolphins are gonna go 8-8 or 7-9. The Jets are gonna go like 4-12, 5-11. This division is bad. It's really bad. The Patriots might go 15-1. Honestly, I don't see Tom Brady losing another game. They're for sure gonna go 14-1, and then they might lose to the Dolphins because the Dolphins might have a chance at the playoffs at that point. Not saying it's going to happen. They might, though. And they might just bench Tom Brady for that game because they already clinched the first rounder, and they might bench him in the week 16 because they might have already clinched first round by then as well. So that's really the only way I see the Bills having a chance at the playoffs. So Seahawks gonna win this game for sure. The Bills have a little bit of an upset chance, but I just don't see it happening. Seahawks definitely a better team. All right, now that is it for Sunday night and Monday night football. But there's been Thursday night football. So I watched the game. I saw a whole bunch of people saying Tampa Bay is going to win this game. They might upset here, but no. Tampa Bay is not. It was not going to happen. Falcons are good, okay? Falcons are really good. And I had people saying before the season, oh, the Falcons are bad. I have them starting 0-7. Like, what? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. The Falcons are good. They're really good. I mean, look at this. In every quarter, they've scored at least 10 points. And consistently. 10, 10, 13, 10. And the Buccaneers, I really, really like them. Jameis Winston is so good. He might be a Hall of Famer, to be honest. If he continues this, not saying he's playing great at the moment, but Jameis Winston is a great player. But the Falcons are also great. And Matt Ryan, MVP. Maybe. If Tom Brady, I'm still saying Tom Brady, but if Tom Brady gets benched for the last 2 games, then he has missed 6 games. You can't give the MVP to somebody who's missed 6 games. And runner-up will be Matt Ryan for sure. Because the other guy I'd had is maybe Matthew Stafford. He can just make plays out of nothing. That's amazing. Rolling away in the pocket. It's not going to roll out. He's going to roll out. He's not going to run. He doesn't need to. He can just zip one into the end zone and be caught. I mean, it'd been easier with Calvin Johnson, of course, but he's not there anymore. Matthew Stafford doesn't care. Still getting it done. Too bad he's on the Lions, unfortunately. So the Falcons they already won this game. But I knew it. I saw a blowout coming, to be honest. I mean, I like it that the Buccaneers went for 2 points, went for the onside kick. They had like 5 minutes left, and they were down by, 3 or 4 scores? Why? Did you just want to, coach your offense? Did you want to get Jameis Winston hurt? Or what is it? Why? Don't get it. Falcons, love them. Playoff team. Might be 2nd seed. Don't see it. I think 2nd seed is going to be Seattle probably, and 1st seed is going to be Dallas, or the other way around. Not Minnesota, not Green Bay. Falcons, 3rd seed. Green Bay, 4th. Minnesota, 5th. And the Eagles or the Giants, perhaps the Redskins, are going to get seed 6. That's my playoff picture for the NFC. I'll have another video on the playoff picture soon. Alright. So, that is NFL Week 9. Alright, so now I just have to explain myself real quick. So I'm filming this on my webcam and also the audio of the webcam, but I have this beautiful mic in front of me. I have a phantom power on its way. It should be here any minute. And then I'm gonna figure this out, and I should have way better audio quality in the next video. And I'm guessing it might be something about the playoff picture, how it's going now. I might do a podcast with some friends about the NFL, how it's going. I do live in Germany, though, so it's unfortunately not that easy for me to find people that are as interested in football as me. But I do have an American dad and a lot of friends from America who are interested in football. Yeah, so I just really enjoy making these videos. And see you guys on the next KJ Picks and Predictions for Week 10. Excited for it.